Hello, I'm Jeremy Pursehouse. I'm chairman of Warlingham Fair. So we thought there's only a few days left before the fair itself arrives, so we come along and tell you a little bit about what's going on, what will be happening on the Friday and the Saturday, and hope that will enthuse you to come along and visit us at the fair. Okay, now on the Friday, that's when we start in earnest. We've been planning this for about a year now, with about a dozen of us on the committee. Nothing is paid for by the council. This is all done by Warlingham people who care about Warlingham. But on the Friday, that's when it all starts in earnest. So let me introduce you to Peter Currell, my deputy chairman, who will give you a few details on what happens on the Friday.
Well, thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, on the Friday is really where all the hard work is done before we have the, shall I say, fun on the Saturday. On the Friday, we've got something around in the order of 3 tons of equipment to move into here from various storage areas, and it's all laid out, bits of rope and fencing and bunting and some of the hardware stuff like stages and marquees. In addition to that, we've got 500 metres of heavy-duty cabling to run in for the electrical needs of the various stalls, plus several hose pipes for our freshwater facility for hand washing and also for the teas and coffees. Now, it sounds pretty simple, but believe me, 3 tons moved by hand in private cars is an awful lot of equipment. We can't do it alone. We need people to help us. Now, this is the beginning of one of the first appeals really on this video. If you're free on the Friday the 19th, we will be in this field from about 9 o'clock onwards, working through until it's dark, I've no doubt, getting all this stuff laid out ready for you on the Saturday.
So Peter, we're on the field at say 10 o'clock in the morning on the Friday. We've been here an hour. What's going on at that point?
Well, normally by that point we'll really be plotting out the place, marking up the ground, and probably laying out some of the large boxes that contain the marquees in the appropriate areas, waiting for the hands and the strong arms to come along and help us put them up. Now let's have a look at the field, Jeremy, and just see where we're going to put stuff in here. Over to my right in the corner by the house there, is where the fun fair will be, as it has been for several years, and it takes up an area roughly across from between the bushes. Next to that, of course, will be Val Gray's dog show, and I'm reading this from the map because there's so many things here I've got to keep jogging my memory. There's a dog arena where the dog show will be taking place, and the judging for the best bitch and the best sausage catcher and all of the various categories of the doggy world.
If you've got a dog, come bring it along and enter that, because it's open to any member of the public. It's just a fun dog show, it's not a problem.
Okay, moving along a little bit further from there towards the centre bush where the people are walking across there at the moment. Yeah. That's where the control caravan's going to be, and it's the hub of the fair. Everything gets controlled from there, emergencies are reported to there, and that's where you'll normally find us.
That's my kingdom.
That's his kingdom. Carrying on from there, past the little jeep, down towards the corner, we've got more and more stalls. These are of all various types, but also, very importantly, that's where the first aid tent is going to be.
And the toilets.
And the toilets, right in the far corner of the field. Now, as we cut away across the tree line...
we get to the important stuff now, Peter.
Yes, we do. This is what we loosely call our food court. And in here you're going to find the hog roast, the barbecue, the bar.
The bar?
The bar.
Yes. Have you mentioned the bar?
I have. Supplied this year by the Whiteleaf Tavern. So good luck to them, boys. Also, just behind that, of course, there is the craft marquee, a very important part we found in the fair, a very popular attraction. All the local crafters come along and display their wares for people to hopefully buy and take away and enjoy. Now, obviously, the centre of the field is laid out as an arena. This helps back to the days when we had football challenges here that opened the fair. They sadly are no longer with us, but we have got an awful lot laid on in that arena this time for you.
Okay, this is where the whole thing starts on the day. This is on School Common, and in 22 odd years of doing Warlingham Fair, I've never managed to get here because I'm always pinned to the arena right from the start of the day. So I can't tell you a thing about it, but a man who can is our parade marshal, amongst other things, Peter Currell.
Thanks, Jeremy. Believe me, you haven't missed anything. Well, this is where it all begins, as Jeremy says, and behind me, in the roadway behind me, which is Redvers Road, is where I line up the parade which goes around the village. It's a very long parade. It probably goes from somewhere from that van up to probably the last tree, and normally headed up by the flute band. Element of doubt this year on that one, but we're hoping to have a band anyway. Then we have the May Queen and her entourage in several prestige vehicles. Following on from those, we will have the Historia Nomanis. Following on from those, we will have the cycle teams from the North Down Cycles. And this year we've got some really fantastic classic vintage vehicles following up and making up the back. Now we parade right around the school common, back down West Hall Road and lead on to the main village green. At the green we go round on the north side, down Limpsfield Road to the entrance to Blanchman's Farm Nature Reserve, which is opposite Bond Road. So down there in the distance is where the parade actually enters the entrance road into Blanchman's Farm. And out there, of course, we've had hard-working marshals working their guts out all morning just to try and control the traffic, keep people guided along, and just to generally help out and keep the place safe. Now, as they come down the road, they will come down, it's about 200 yards, down this entrance road until they arrive at this point just behind me. Now, just over here is the main gate. This is locked open on the day because we need access for emergency vehicles as well as the parade and all the other vehicles that are going in and out. However, we don't encourage traffic during the operation of the fair. In fact, there's no vehicle movement between 11 and 4. The pedestrian entrance is just over to the other side there. And again, we have the radar gate open for disabled entry. And they can get in either up the footpath or around the entrance road, which will be cut smooth and flat. And mobility scooters have no problem whatsoever getting in there. And then you're into the main field. A 2.5 acre site that we transform into the fair each year just for the people of Warlingham.
Okay, come with me, because we've got to come this way, walk this way. Over in the arena, which is the main part here, we're going to have start with traditional stuff. So we've got the schools doing their country dancing, we've got the opening ceremony. I mustn't forget the opening ceremony. We've got the chair of the council, we have all our flags being raised. Hopefully on the day we won't have a fly past, but anyway, we've got all the flags being raised, we've got the country dancing, then we move on to some newer stuff. We've got gymnastics display for the first time, well, for the first time in a long time this year. We've got dancing obviously from Katie and her Warlingham dance studio, and we've got the tug of war. Please enter the tug of war. If you've got a team, if you've got 7 friends, you can enter the tug of war. And it's a really popular event, but we do need teams. We've got Historian Omanis coming back, the knights beating the Jesus out of us, each other, and demonstrating what they can do with their enormous weapons. So it's brilliant stuff. This year, for the first time, this is where it could all go wrong, is we have a new event called the Battle of the Bikes. Now, just come along to see if this works or not for a start. I'm going to go back to Peter here because he's put this all together. Peter.
Well, thanks, Jeremy. Now, the Battle of the Bikes. Well, I guess you could say it's my brainchild. I was looking for something that was adventurous and probably a bit modern. So I decided, loosely based on the old gun carriage challenge from the Royal Tournament, that we needed something like that here that people could get behind the teams and cheer them along. Now, as you probably know, down in the village we've got a new cycle shop opened, and that set the spark going. I thought, what can I do with mountain bikes? So what we've done is we've devised a course whereby the guys ride a bike down to a wall, they dismantle the bike, get it over the wall and themselves, down to a keyhole. Now, a keyhole, you might say, is a bit strange to try and do something with a mountain bike, but these keyholes are quite large. They're 32 inches high and 18 inches wide, but they are shaped like a keyhole, and the object of the exercise is to get the entire mountain bike through that keyhole, put it back together on the other side, ride around a bit more circuit, come back and do the thing in reverse, all against the clock. The pressure will be on, believe me.
This is North Down Cycles that's putting this together for us, isn't it?
This is indeed North Down Cycles. Colvin and the boys down there, they're really taking it to heart. They're supplying the bikes, they're raffling a bike here at the event, and these are not mail order bikes. These are £600-700 bikes. So come along, support the boys and support their cycle shop.
Now I'm pretty much pinned to the arena, so I don't get to see around the fair as much as I'd like to. But Peter, last year lots of people gave me a lot of good feedback about the Historian Omanis camp. What sort of thing do they have there?
Well, let's just start at the very beginning, Jeremy. Behind me is what you just see is a wild flower meadow. But come the day of the fair, in fact the evening before, this is going to turn into a medieval camp. Now, in here they'll have traditional tents, traditional sleeping arrangements, and they will be living a traditional life, making their armour, mending their tunics, cooking up traditional food. And they invite the public in to see what they do, just to maintain their lifestyle. This is prior to going out on the field and knocking the bejabbers out of each other, as we've mentioned earlier on. But it really is a strangely interesting thing to come to, because everything that's in there they have made themselves, right down to the swords, the breastplates, the helmets, the tunics, the ropes they use. Everything is done in-house by the enthusiasts.
And finally, buy a programme. These are all going to be around the village in the lead up to the fair, and they're going to be on site with people selling them on the day. They're only £1. They have lots of interesting stuff in there. I've written some stuff, he's written some stuff, Angus has written some stuff. We've got lots of it's stuff in this programme. So buy the programme. £1 here helps us put this fair on. We don't do this for profit. We put it on so that lots of other organisations can come along and raise money on the day, and that Warlingham can come together and have fun at the fair. So buy a programme. Also, please, if you've got a few minutes, or an hour, or a couple of hours even,
Indeed, yeah.
on the Friday or on the Saturday, we are in deep need of people to volunteer their time. I mean, what do we need them for, Peter?
We need road marshals, we need site stewards, we need arena helpers, we need people to sell raffle tickets, we need people to sell programmes. All on site. We'll have a great time. Come along and help us.
And how do they volunteer?
They get in touch with us via any of the social media sites. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Street Life. There's our website, which is www.warlingham-fair.org.uk. Get in touch.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy the day.